Hello, Internet. Welcome to episode 6 of...
6?
I told you I made it 5. You guys don't even pay attention. You know,
We only made
nobody
it 2.
cares. Well, we did 2 more with Jerry and Lorelai. Cool. Then I did a 5th animated, semi-animated version. So now we're on 6. There you go. Of the Alchemist channel, I'm Rich Trupeck. This is...
Lar.
And I'm Jerry Trupeck.
Yay!
When Lorelai was doing it, wasn't all chemists.
We told her she had to become a chemist.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay.
That's good. As long as we have truth in
Yeah,
everything.
we discussed that.
It's not like I've touched a test tube in like the last 30 years.
Oh, you touch your test tube all the time, buddy. We know that.
Or Earl Meyer.
I'm not going to touch that one.
So today we're going to talk about the election a little bit, but to get into the election, we're going to talk about how you, in chemistry, to relate it to chemistry, how you can game the system when you're doing chemical reactions to get a particular product that you want. And Lar maybe has an example, or maybe completely blew off his assignment. I don't know.
I think gaming the system is probably the wrong terminology.
Okay.
So it's like you've got a reaction, and it's giving 6 products, and you don't want 6 products. You think you can probably at least have a chance of selling 1, but you're not moving.
Is it cocaine?
6. That would be a good one, but not a very long lifespan if you're into that business.
Okay.
But say the products that are being generated in this reaction, just arbitrarily, we'll call them Bernie and Bloomy and Biney and
You mean Bitey?
Bitey and Butt Guy and Amy and Pocahontas. Just picking words out of random.
Okay.
Okay. Now the problem is you got to get that down to 1, right?
Yes.
And you think you can probably move any of the 5, but there's one that you definitely are not going to be able to sell. That one somehow you have to figure out how to get rid of.
Okay.
Okay, so far?
Yeah.
The problem is cutting it down to 1 or 2 is tricky because of the system that they have chosen this year to select a candidate, which apparently is I don't know if it's the case in all the primaries, but a proportional representation system as opposed to a winner-take-all.
Yeah.
And what that means is even though a majority of people nowadays, again, nothing to do with poker chips, by the way,
Just
are not voting.
do what you're doing. I'll do what I'm doing.
Are not pushing the Bernie, he's still going to end up with a plurality of votes. And they have to figure out how to essentially get rid of most of these other side products if they want to get down to something they think they can really sell. Not because it's any good, but because they'll have a really good advertising budget.
So they have a giant centrifuge?
I hadn't thought of it that way. It would be kind of cool, but I don't think that's what they're shooting for now.
I think Bernie might be the first one to fly off it anyways.
I think what they really want to do is try and get 4 people out of the race as soon as possible. Because if they get it down to Bloomy and Bernie, then Bloomy can buy it. But if they don't, they go to a convention where Bernie's got more people, more votes than anybody else. He's got more delegates than anybody else, but he doesn't have a majority. He just got a plurality.
You
Damn
really
it.
can't see it.
I really
Can't see
cannot. And if you've got infinite money and you have people who have to bail, you've got a lot of influence in terms of trying to get enough folks to overcome that plurality.
Can we go back to the centrifuge real quick?
Yeah, sure.
Would they really, when they were separating uranium atoms, would 2 neutrons make the atom heavier to where it would split out in a centrifuge?
It was essentially, I don't know about the centrifuges.
It never seemed right to me.
With that, you've got, when we did the separation at Oak Ridge,
You were
we
there?
did it.
He probably does mean we.
Yes.
We did it with uranium hexafluoride, and the difference in the masses of the uranium hexafluorides, depending upon the isotope of uranium, 235 versus 238, 3 mass units out of something over 400 or 500. But you can actually do the calculations with things you had in freshman chemistry as to what the different rate of diffusion would be. And with that, you can figure out essentially how many diffusion events you have to have in order to get a certain degree of purification, and that's why the facility in Tennessee is enormous, because you have to do so many diffusions.
Okay.
It's also the reason why it was put in Tennessee, because people with a wartime mentality were thinking, where can we put this where it won't be destroyed by enemy bombers? And they figure, okay, if it's in a valley in the Appalachians, then they have to come down the valley if they're going to do a bombing run, and we have plenty of chances to shoot them down. Now, nothing like that ever happened, but it had been anticipated ahead of time.
So that begs the question: we must have had Appalachian anti-aircraft.
I don't think we
gunners.
ever did, because we never had the
right.
the continental U.S. attacked.
I'm not sure I would trust my facility of those guys.
Do you know in the Newt Gingrich novel about World War II?
I was just talking about that this week.
Okay, so remember they attacked, but you remember who part of stopping them?
Would they attack?
Oh, they attacked Oak Ridge.
Oh, really? I
Yeah.
didn't know that. Oh.
Yeah, but guess who comes to the rescue?
A bunch of hillbillies with shotguns.
Sergeant York,
Ah, cool.
because he's still around.
Now, you know that California did get attacked by the Japanese.
Yes.
By fire balloons and
Yes.
stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And there's also, I think, some people, I think some of our territories captured in Illusions. I'm not positive.
I
Oh
believe
yeah,
it.
Atu and Kiska.
But
Damn.
we weren't doing that.
Nice.
And going back to your original question, the reason we have problems now with pluralities is because of the damn centrifuges. You don't need an Oak Ridge if you're Iran. All you have to do is be able to buy centrifuges from the freaking West Germans and then bury them in caves somewhere in the mountains in Iran, which is a totally different ballgame.
And speaking of that, so remember how all those centrifuges got destroyed by the Suxton virus?
Yeah.
Do you know how they got the Suxton virus in there?
It was on a thumb drive, wasn't it?
Yeah, but that's the beauty of it is it wasn't. They just put it out there, and they figure eventually this is some super stealthy thing. It's going to get to Iran's.
And they were able to keep track of who had it. And
No, they said they said apparently they said they didn't need to. It would spread, and eventually, statistically, it would have to get to Iran's.
But it would
computers.
only screw up Iranian centrifuges.
That's
It wouldn't screw up my game of what the heck?
Depends
No.
what games you play.
This is why you
Grand
don't,
Theft Auto. Okay.
This is why you don't buy your centrifuges from the Germans, because somewhere in Germany, there's a German working with the U.S. intelligence community who says, "Oh yeah, we'll put this little marker in here, and that's how your bug will know."
Neat.
So isn't that cool?
That is outstanding.
So where were we?
So
Sorry.
All right. So they either got to get rid of 4 people before the convention.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise,
and by got rid of, we just mean no longer in the race, not get rid of.
we're talking about Democrats here. Have you noticed that there are no Democrats campaigning in Fort Marcy Park? Some people think this is a coincidence, but other folks, it makes perfect sense to them.
Okay.
But anyway, however it happens, they need 4 people to bail. And 4 people probably are not going to bail because, number 1, they're all egomaniacs. And number 2, they think they have a chance to make it as the vice presidential person. So they're going to hang in there as long as they possibly can, no matter how much Bloomy tries to buy
Possibly
out.
can, not
Can.
possibly clan. Thank you.
If possibly Klan would work, I think they'd do it. Just saying.
Did you hear Stein's new nickname for Warren?
For Warren, no. Can't keep track, can't keep
have
track.
Cherokee Dominatrix.
Oh my God.
I think there is a career there.
Yeah.
I think that's at that point.
As
I think
God,
we're now too late for grabbing that porn site.
as God is my witness, yesterday on the WGN Morning News, they had a yodeling dominatrix, which was
Wow.
more interesting than I thought it would be.
What did you
Wow.
think in the Sherlock series? The fact that, what's her name? The Sherlock chick. What's her name? Isabel? Irene?
Yes, Irene. Yes. Irene was the special woman.
That's how she made her living.
Yeah.
That was pretty bizarre.
That was cool. And I love that Mrs. Hudson used to be an exotic dancer. In that,
One of the best things about that series is how much the characters grow from season to season. And Mrs. Hudson is certainly an indication of that.
Yeah.
She's gotten really, really cool.
No, she's terrific.
And she doesn't take any pipe from anybody. I like that too.
Yeah, yeah. And she refuses to believe that Watson and Sherlock are not gay.
Yeah.
But that's a running gag. So,
Speaking of which, did you see how the new National Security Advisor, Rick Grinnell, got named? And I don't know if you know this.
he's the head of
he's
intelligence.
gay.
Yeah.
But it's fascinating to me that I didn't see any story in the mainstream media that said that, where they would have been, trumping it as a triumph, right? If it was Democrat.
Yeah.
And Fox didn't mention it because we don't care.
But you know who mentioned it 6 months ago? It was Kurt Schlichter.
Did he?
For some reason or another. Was this guy used to be ambassador to Germany or something?
Yeah, somewhere, I
And
forget.
Schlichter thinks he's God's gift to American politics. I don't know squat about him.
I love Rick Grinnell. He's, but not that way.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, sure.
He's he used to appear on Red Eye a lot when Red Eye was on Fox, and he's just a really genuinely smart guy, and a good Republican. So I think he'll be great.
Schlichter had him pegged as Republican presidential nominee.
You really got to watch your phrasing here.
Oh my God.
I didn't stop at peg in like 8 years or so. Whether that's true or not, I don't know.
No, I think he's great.
And I don't watch my phraseology. I'm sorry. It
Obviously
comes
not.
out as it is. Maybe it's all Freudian. Who knows?
Obviously not. Okay, so now we're going to do my little metaphor that I get the idea that you hate. But anyway,
I don't necessarily hate it. I just don't know what it is. Are these my chips?
those are your chips.
Okay.
These are my chips.
Would you like some crackers as chips?
No.
Okay.
Okay, you guys have to have your chips in the same order so we can keep track of the denominations.
I thought it was just natural to go red, white, blue, then green, and then black.
Okay. Racist.
I was going to say it, but
Because it's the most valuable. If anything, I'm racist in a different direction.
Okay, you're right. So the denominations are, we're going to say penny, nickel, dime, quarter, dollar. Okay? So what we're playing for here is the Democratic nomination for President of the United States. And this,
at what stage are we?
we're in the convention.
We're in the convention. Are all 6 people still in?
Yes.
So
of
Bloomberg
which,
hasn't been able to buy them off.
no.
None of them have been in Fort
Because
Marcy
we have
Park.
all the
No.
chips.
Jerry represents Bernie and just Bernie.
Okay.
You represent the DNC and whatever candidate they want
Okay.
to win. Okay? Mm-hmm. I represent the delegates. So to win the nomination, you got to win the Texas Hold'em. And I don't know, we'll maybe do 3 hands or something like that.
I would rather be Bloomy and have all of the chips in Lake County. I think that would make for a better analogy.
We tried to get all of the chips in Lake County for this podcast, but we couldn't get them together in time.
Okay.
that's the only job you had.
That's a practical consideration that I can respect.
Okay, so if people are going to be able to see the game, we're going to have to move these so they can see us in dishing. So, all right, DNC,
Yeah.
Bernie, we'll deal. I should probably do this right. And we'll dump one, let you cut. You want to cut, Bernie? No, you can't cut, Bernie. You cut. You don't get to cut. All right. There's your card. There's your card. There's your card. There's your card. You happy with your cards?
No.
No? You want another one?
No. I almost insist that, of course, I'm not Bloomy, so I can't insist I buy a new deck, but that's okay. Do I want another one?
Yeah.
Sure. Absolutely.
There you go.
That's crap. Come on. Card that's actually. No, never mind. I'll take these 2.
Okay.
And my turn to get more cards is win.
You got your cards. What are you bitching about? You got your cards. Shut up. Okay, so the flop. Ooh, somebody didn't shuffle very well. All right.
Shocking.
Bernie, you want to bet?
Yes.
Can the audience see these? Can the audience see this?
I'm betting a lucky 7 chips.
Oh, yeah, okay, audience. The flop here is a king of diamonds, a queen of diamonds, and a 6 of hearts.
Which is also important for podcast people.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
And my 7 is matched by everybody else.
Okay. And we've got a 7 of spades on the turn.
Hang on. I noticed that everyone else got another card.
No, they didn't.
I don't believe that's true, but I'm putting in another 7.
Actually, Bernie, I know you're a socialist, but that's actually 11.
All right. Well, I'll take the change from him then.
Okay.
I'm not going to put anything in because I'm confused now. Go ahead.
So okay. So
I'm in.
I believe
Yeah, you're
that
in.
makes me the president. Oh.
okay.
I put in a token. It'll mean something. When we go.
Okay. That's fine. That's great. Okay.
I need another card though.
Oh, sure. There you go.
I'll do.
Do you want to quit yet? You can quit now,
I would not quit now.
I'll give you a
I'm
black
in
thing
this.
if you quit.
and we'll give you 4 black things if you quit.
I have no
We'll make it
intention
6. And a lake house to go with the other one you got after the last election.
All right. He turned down the black things, so I think they're yours now.
Hey, thanks.
That's that.
Hey.
What?
All right.
I'll take that.
Ready? Okay. There you go. Ready?
Sure.
8 of clubs. Okay. Final bets. Bernie. Bernie.
Boy, you have no idea how close this was to completely flopping. So I'll put in 75 units.
Okay. Well, I'll put in everything.
I thought those were quarter. Those are definitely
I have
quarters.
no idea what they are. It just
Doesn't
don't
really
know.
matter. So he's all in. You all in?
Well, I have to go all in.
You can't. You don't have enough money. You
I-
lose.
By definition, I have enough. We were given the same amount, and you even have a cracker.
You give me some of your black things.
You turned him down.
Oh, that's right.
So you lose. Get out of here.
Let's see what you had anyway.
I was so close.
I had,
I was a 9 away from a straight
I had
flush.
3
Oh, wow.
pairs.
Wow. Oh, but see, you lost anyway. 3 pairs.
3 pairs is pretty tough to beat.
Okay.
If I kept my 8 and 9, I would have been okay too. Anyway,
So who's your nominee going to be now?
the guy who gave me all the chips.
Had you not taken that 9 from me, I would have had a straight.
No kidding.
And I would have beat you although you would have decided that 3 pair
And you
beats
know,
a straight.
it could have been if I gave you my 6 and 7. What you call it?
Taking this cracker, though.
I was surprised
Straight
you
flush.
didn't try to steal like some of the chips when my back was turned.
So
Rolled
anyway,
a card.
That's good.
what's going? Do you think
Figured
that
you were watching that lesson.
they're going to try like heck to clear people out before the convention? 'Cause
Sure.
that's the only hope they have of not having bad feelings there. Because Sanders will go in with a plurality. I knew I could do it, but not a majority. And they won't want him, so then it'll be you have delegates who'll be released after some number of rounds, 1 to whatever. And then Uncle Moneybags can come by and say, oh, you're in the Iowa delegation and you're not going to be able to vote for Klobuchar or whoever. I'd like to give $1 million to the Democrat Party in Iowa. I'd really like to know who you're going to release your delegates to, though. And that's going to happen across the board. And then Bernie gets screwed, and all the Bernie morons are going to go goofy.
I thought it was fascinating that
If they don't.
Bernie's spokesperson this week said that the fairest coverage he was getting was from Fox.
Yes, that is amusing. Well, I also like is that there are 2 primary candidates. One of them is not a Democrat because he's a socialist. The other one is not a Democrat. Well, he is now, but he used to be a Republican. That's gloomy. And they're talking about Romney as a vice president. So what the hell kind of party you got when you can't even get your own people from your own party?
Isn't the one literally not a Democrat? Does he still pretend the independent thing? I mean, does he still show up on TV with the eye?
Yes, as a senator, he's an independent.
Is there any party that is very... It's like, okay, these people won't play with you. You decided not to be one of them.
Yeah, I don't see why they just can't start off the convention by saying anybody who hasn't been a Democrat does not qualify for this. And then you've taken care of the whole damn problem. Well, you
So
should have
you're
thought of
saying
that.
That would be like a catalyst. I'm trying to wrap this up with
The chemistry analogy?
since I think that's what we're supposed to do.
It's more like antimatter. Which will probably lead to the same result, which explosion, heat, a lot of bad feelings.
She was my
things
favorite
like that
auntie.
for it.
Okay, that's it for this edition of the Alchemist Channel, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
Is that 20 minutes?